Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Namm edition of Tuesday Night with It's Just Us Tonight.
Just
Jay
us.
and I. Well, that's not true. There are other people here, and we'll seek them in here after a bit.
We'll bring him in a little bit.
We're going to talk about Namm this year.
I'm excited.
Which
Love
is
Namm.
a virtual event.
Not excited, but love Namm.
Well, you know what's cool about it, Jay? And I did a video on this that I posted on my channel. You've mentioned it. Namm is a virtual event, so it's not the same as going to Anaheim and all that, but it's absolutely free to everybody.
Right.
All you have to do is register.
First time ever.
Yeah, and as of yesterday, I believe the 11th was the first day that you could actually go in and create a profile and take a look at some of the events that are going on every day.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You can just register at the website, which John will put down in the description of this video, how to get to it, and check it out. So yeah, it sucks for us who normally go, but for anyone who doesn't have the scratch or the time or the geographical capacity to go, you can still get some Namm experience.
Right. And I don't know if people realize the impact Namm, I think they still have on the big scheme, but there's no question that from the beginning Namms till now, with the advent of social media, how much that has changed the dynamics.
Yeah.
And you and I can talk for days on in the beginning,
right?
When if you wanted to get your hands on something, you flew to Vegas to a Mobile Beat, or you went to Atlantic City to an expo.
Right.
And Namm was the original. Namm is where companies come out and say, here's something new that either we're developing, we've developed, and you can get later, or it's available now. It's the launching point, because if nobody understands, and just to make it as simple as I can,
sure,
the Namm is a organization that you join as a retailer, distributor, seller, manufacturer. You all have different facets. But what the Namm show really is an opportunity for manufacturers to bring what they have to sell for the year.
Right.
So, a big company will roll in with their new gear. They'll have a big booth. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the show. They put their people up in the nearby hotels that are very expensive during Namm week. Everything gets packed, and 130,000 people roll into Anaheim and hit the convention center.
It's right next to Disneyland, by the way.
Yes, and it's so insane. And I might, for maybe next week's show, because that'll be the week of Namm,
right,
I'll find the videos and photos. You have to understand, you go into the Hyatt, the Marriott, the Hilton, the Sheraton, there are hotels where there is no bar in the lobby. Right. And then all of a sudden you go to Namm, and there'll be 300 people in the corner of a lobby at the bar, and you're like, where'd the bar come from? And then you look to the other side, and there's a sushi restaurant, and you're like, wait a second, that wasn't here 2 days ago.
Right.
And it's so much fun. I'm very fortunate to go there before it hits and then after. So that Tuesday when I leave Namm, the following Tuesday, it's all gone. The stages are gone. Everything's gone.
Right.
Because it's just for music lovers.
And just to be clear, so everybody understands, for those of you who don't know, Namm is everything music industry. So it's not just DJ stuff or PA stuff or lighting stuff. In fact, that's the smallest part of it. It's musical instruments, it's recording equipment, it's it's oboes and clarinets and
everything,
and
music stands,
and drums. Yeah, you name it. If it has to, grand pianos, it's everything music. And this is the premier show in the world. I've been to Music Messa Pro Light and Sound, which I believe is geographically larger.
Right.
But this particular show is so much more important to the industry than any other show. I think this is the main show for music.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And over the years, I've gotten to see this and other shows go from, if you're not there, you're left in the dust, to, the advent of social media and the way the internet has grown. Shows have kind of replaced it. I don't know if you've ever been, Brian, but there's a show in Vegas in March called Nightclub and Bar.
No, I haven't. I've never been to a nightclub. And bar.
I did nightclub and bar 05, 06, 07. We just, and because you understand the scope of these shows, 05, 06, 07, Pioneer DJ would bring in not only a booth with, I think we had 28 monitors in it, but we would bring in like 12 demo DJs. We only bring 10 to DJ Expo.
Right.
That's how big nightclub and bar was at the time. And now we haven't done it since 2010, 2009, I think, because things have changed in the way you deliver your message. But I think the one constant has been Namm.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're a fan of bands and music, and I don't know why this is, and I think Brian will agree with me, the stronghold of Namm is the 80s up kind of big hair metal groups.
Oh.
They are like, if you like 80s big hair metal, 80s metal,
right,
90s metal, that's the show to be in, because they're all there signing autographs, they're there endorsing instruments and endorsing products,
or just walking around like the rest of us.
Oh, just I mean, I showed a bingo thing the other night in the chill room, and it's no joke, the Namm bingo. And one of the things you have to get bingo is saw Stevie Wonder, because you're gonna see Stevie Wonder.
He won't see you. He will not see you.
No, he does not see you. But you will see him. Yeah, I guaranteed 100%. You will see Stevie Wonder, Santana, half of Aerosmith, half of Motley Crue, Dave Grohl of Foo Fighters. Like, they're just there. I've had conversations in the lobby with people, and they're buying me a drink, and I'm like, how is the basis of Guns N' Roses like chilling with me at the bar? And then I'm over here talking to the guys from Mr. Big, and we're having this deep conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's if you're passionate like I am and like Brian is about music, this is one of those places where it really comes alive, and you can feel it. I mean, I fought to go to Namm from 97 on, and didn't attend my first Namm till 05, because the company I used to work for had a membership, and they wouldn't give me a ticket because the marketing manager didn't care for me. And she's still there, and now I'm on DJNTV. So who did
Yeah,
that?
right. Yeah, whoosh.
Obviously, I have gone, whoosh, and she is gone. But I wanted to be in that environment. And I just remember walking around being like, I'm 7 feet away from some of the most influential people in my world.
I've met everybody from Quincy Jones to Kenny G to Weird Al Yankovic to Corey Feldman at this show.
Yeah. Corey Feldman was in our booth a few years ago. I'm talking, like, this is no lie. I was talking to Ray Parker Jr. because we had the Ghostbusters CDJ backpack.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
I have a photo. This is the best photo ever. It's me, Qbert, the scratch DJ Qbert.
Right. Who's there all the time?
Ray Parker Jr. And then behind Ray Parker Jr., kind of waving, is Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Just another day at the Namm show.
Very, very random. And the reason a lot of the folks are there is because they're checking stuff out just like you are. And that's why it's invite only. That's why it's not open to the public. They don't need a bunch of fanboys in there. They want people.
They
like
have
Stevie,
me.
who, like Stevie is like, Stevie Wonder is a gear freak.
Oh,
He
no.
is interested in technology. He's genuinely a fan. So he wants to go to every booth and try everything. That's his thing. So if you're in a booth at Namm, be it speakers or, whatever, keyboards, guitars, he's going to go in the booth and have a look. That's just what he does. He's there all week too.
Right. And people come back around. I spent 10 minutes talking.
I said, have a look, have a feel, whatever.
Right.
Play around with stuff. Have a listen.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I spent 10 minutes talking to a guy who looked super familiar, but not one of those, I know him, more like he just looks familiar. And I was explaining some of the gear to him. He's like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of DJing outside of my band. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, bro, I got to apologize, man. I hate saying this, but you so look familiar. He's like, do I really? I'm like, I know you. I'm thinking of video and I'm seeing Water. And he goes, oh, wow, that was our big hit. And it's the lead singer of Filter.
Oh.
And now he's DJing and we're hanging out. I mean, I'm like really happy about this one. I've met DJ Ashba a couple times. He follows me on Instagram. Like, why? Because I've met him a couple of times and he's super dope and super cool. My friendship with Chris Cox started there.
Sure.
My friendship with the Crystal Method, DJ
I've met them through you. Yeah.
Yeah. All super, super nice people. But again, I think the thing that you have to focus on with Namm is when you're there, you're surrounded by like-minded individuals who all have the same focus in life, which is they can't get enough music.
Well, let's switch gears. Just yeah,
come in for that.
Let's just switch gears for a second and talk about the product launches.
Okay.
Because this is what the manufacturers and these companies who produce equipment, develop equipment, that's what they're doing at this show. They're launching a lot of new product.
Right.
And I want to bring our friend Joel in now, if you want to go ahead and turn your camera and your mic on, because I was talking about this before you came in tonight. And the question that came up, and Joel may have even asked the question, is how many people made money this year as a DJ where they can afford to go out and buy equipment? And my rebuttal to that was the guy who's doing this on the side and is getting a stimulus check. And Joel said,
well, I got a stimulus check. I'm going to get a bonus from my employer this year, which was unexpected. And in December, I sat down and wrote down a list of all my little want items that I wanted to do, and was going, do I spend the money? Do I save it? You know, do I take advantage of some of the early specials that were going on? And there were a lot of microphone specials in December that were great, but they're all gone now. And so then I guess to see what's going to come out at Namm, I guess that's where I'm at now, is I'm just going to wait, see what comes out with Namm, get my bonus, and then go like, well, okay, I like that. Maybe I should pick that up.
Right. Or do a pre-order or whatever if it doesn't come out until March or April or whatever.
Right.
So it might be a great opportunity for some of you who do have some money set aside to, have a look and see what's going on, see if there's anything there that's going to make your job better or easier. Because to me, that's what it's all about. I've got stuff now that I'm really comfortable with, but I've got a few things on my desirable equipment list. And this is battery powered, wireless transmission, and portable. Any one of those three things will excite me as a DJ.
I think you'll see those kind of launches. I think the technology is probably going to be the biggest area of launches. In a nutshell, I just had this conversation with an industry leader, not from where I work. And I said, I think you'll find that the majority of music companies did very well in 2020. And the reason I say that is because you had retirees who used to do a band or DJ that bought a guitar or a mixer. You had people that were sitting at home bored that bought gear. I mean, if you feel bad for the companies thinking, oh, they're not doing a thing, I think you're probably incorrect in a lot of the bigger companies, because I think they did well because of people staying home. And when you're stuck at home, not everything, but some things I think did very well.
It's the working musician versus the hobbyist musician.
Right. And I think they both may have looked at it and said, okay, now's my time to woodshed, if you guys know what that term means. Yeah, and in order to woodshed, I'm going to need some new gear. And I was really surprised at the companies that strategically launched things. One thing I tell everyone, and this has not changed over the last probably 22 years that I can go back on, the way the gear cycle works, Namm leads the pack. It's launched at Namm. And we're not kidding when you hear me or Brian or other people say Namm stands for not available, maybe March, or not available, maybe May. So you'll see something launched at Namm. That doesn't mean you're going to see it before April, May, or June. Where I think someone like Joel will benefit is the gear that comes out that he looks at and says, I'm going to be back in the swing of things by the summer.
Right.
And that's what I need. I'm in the same spot Joel is that you are, Brian.
Well, Joel's looking for microphones. Yeah.
I am too. And the reason I didn't pick up the deals in December, to be quite blunt, is because I wanted to know if the new technology coming out at Namm was going to address situations that I might run into. Like, hey, these are really inexpensive, by the way, they're the old, bands. Oh, that's no good. Or, oh,
Right.
this is really good technology. You see a lot of sales in November, December for the holidays. Think of it like this, though. You also see a lot of sales because companies want to get rid of gear they're going to replace.
Of course. Yeah, last year's model.
Right.
So,
And-
Joel, aside from microphones, is there anything you're kind of keeping your eyes open for?
I've been watching a lot of videos on digital mixers because I only have one mic input on my DJ mixer, so I would need a secondary mixer. And it's interesting, I've seen several manufacturers with smaller mixers that are digital that have super high-end features that may not need them all, but
Sure.
to have the features when you need them in a smaller mixer format would be a really good item.
Sure. No, I'm with you on that too. That's always been a sore spot as well. But, I'm done holding my breath on that. I'm just convinced that nobody cares. We'll see. You never know.
Yeah, but you know what? The other thing is we're sitting this week talking while we're talking, and I didn't go last year, but I went the 2 years prior. This is the week of CES, which stands for Consumer Electronics Show, which traditionally is not only in Vegas, but it's the biggest convention Vegas has all year. So when you look at Vegas and their scope, understand CES rules in that they're the biggest. The only thing bigger is every few years they have a crane heavy machinery show that I think brings internationally people out from every corner of the world to get some big bulldozer they need to put in Dubai or whatever. But as far as a consistent show, CES is the biggest. And it'll be interesting to see what CES launches and how that technology leaks over to our industry.
Yeah.
Look at Bluetooth and look at, I think you're going to see Bluetooth in items this year. I think you're going to see that wireless feature become more pronounced. Look at streaming. I mean, we ended 2020 with really 4 people in the game of streaming music. I tried 2 of them and it was very impressive, but I tried them from my home office.
Sure.
Streaming at a gig, I got to be honest, I'm still not sold.
That's going to be tough. And by the way, every time Jay says,
did I say
honest, it? Or to be honest, I want you guys
please
to
put your hands up. Yeah.
I don't know. Do something bad to Jay. I
throw something.
Electrodes on his body somewhere with a remote.
I came in thinking, I'm not going to say, to be honest. And then I didn't catch the last one, but I think I've already said it twice. Damn it.
I want to ask Alex over in Cyprus, being over in Cyprus and not necessarily, even considering ever doing a Namm show, is this something that somebody like you is going to participate in, being free and virtual this year? You can go ahead and unmute your microphone and let us know if you're still there. And turn your camera on.
He might be back asleep.
He's right here.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
very Darth Vader-ish tonight.
Yes.
Yes. The chill room is strong within this one.
Are you gonna check it out?
I think I would, because obviously it is a long way for me to travel. I got to go to Mobile Beat 20 a few years ago, which was cool. It was exciting. First time in the States. But yeah, it's going to be great to be able to see all these new products. Obviously, quite a few brands have just released a few products, Rain, for example, being one of them.
Right.
Maybe they weren't participating so much. Maybe they are. Obviously, we won't know who the vendors are within them until they start releasing press and video footage. But yeah, it's going to be cool to be able to be there, unfortunately, in the virtual state rather than the physical state. It's going to be big fun and interesting.
But it's an even playing field. It's not like you're stuck virtual, but I'm there. No, we're all virtual. So we're all having the same experience, which for what it's worth may make you feel a little better.
Well,
but at least you can check it out.
It's going to make the after show parties interesting.
It's funny you say that. If you guys would like a little insight, I happen to have a little information that I can probably share with everyone.
Okay.
And that is at least the scope, which will be that I believe the way Namm is setting it up is manufacturers will have a page within the Namm world or arena, as I think they're calling it. So you'll get to go to different manufacturers and see what they have to offer in the way of demonstrations, gear, performances. I think it's going to be very, very video centric. And I do know that next Thursday and Friday if you are on the Namm site and you need a drink at 4:30. No, I'm going to have to get the exact time. Yeah, no, 4:30. 4:30 on Thursday, Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. There will be a live happy hour with. And then on Friday,
bring your own booze.
Bring your own booze. Yeah. On Friday, we'll do the same thing live at 3:00. But because, again, believe it or not, and this might be part of the reason why I fit in with the Namm group, traditionally after the show, it's beeline to the bars, up and down Catella, Harbor, Ball, hotels. Like, I've hung out with Brian, who's had a Corona in his hand at 4 a.m. So I'm just saying.
It's happened. Yeah.
It's happened. So, you know.
Well, I'm going to just say hello to everybody else in the room who's here. We'll just kind of knock them all out and see if they plan on checking this show out. How about you, Howie? Are you going to come in and have a look at the Namm show virtually this year? Are you signed up?
I am signed up, and actually I have been watching one of our sponsors, NLFX. Katie has been doing some videos, and she's going to keep doing some. And I noticed that they are having specials on stock that's not new, but they're going to have specials. So Joel might want to look out for NLFX specials on the microphones he's looking at. I know for a fact that they already put on their page they're having specials for Electro Voice, which is another sponsor of ours. So nice. Yeah, I'm definitely tuning in because, hey, if they have a contest, I have a 50-50 shot of winning.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there anything you're on the lookout for this year, Howie?
Honestly, no. I am perfectly set until 2022. The only thing, like I mentioned once before, is I'll invest in my vehicle and get new tires.
Sure.
And then, of course, I can write that off because I use the vehicle, you know, for DJing. Mobile.
But you're still going to be there virtually and check it out and
oh yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
So do you have any predictions as to what we might see this year, Howie, just based on your
I'm hopeful, but I'm with you on this. I don't think we're going to see a breakthrough on the wireless technology for speakers or any decent mic inputs on controllers. I remember you talking outside of the Irish pub. You and Jay introduced you to the president, and he was very excited that you would. I like people that tell me the truth, and you said, yeah, well, how about some good mic inputs? And that was 2 years ago. We still like, don't have mic inputs.
What are you doing? I'm like, what? I don't work for him.
Yeah, I mean, I hope for that, but I don't expect to see it.
Sure.
I think the issue there, Howie, is it's probably my fault because after that conversation, I took the president and Brian and anyone else in the entourage to Scores for a few hours. So it could very well be that the industry
conversation.
Yeah, the industry has suffered greatly because I took everyone to a really cool strip club.
I didn't go, by the way.
And they don't remember a thing that happened the day before, right?
You sure you weren't there?
Yeah, you took like Brian K. and I didn't go. I went home.
Oh, Brian K. went. That's right.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Yeah, Brian K. did go. And he was disgusted. So
of course he was.
Oh my God, don't get near me. You'd have to know Brian K. to understand.
Derek has turned his camera on. What do you got for us? You got to unmute your mic.
My bad. No, I'm just excited to see the innovation. I think that with a lot of the different companies kind of, they're not to say that they're going to be at it, but they're definitely going to be at the innovation part of it. How can they improve our lives as DJs, as entertainers? What products can they produce that's, not to say game changing, but, enhance what we do. And I think that, it's definitely going to be a sight to see with, some of the products that are going to be coming out.
Yeah, I think you're right about the whole game changing thing. I hate using it. It almost sounds cliche, but sometimes stuff does come out and you've got to write a new rule book. it's a brand new thing now. Okay, now that we can do this, everything's different. Kind of like what BDJ did this year with stems. There are a lot of DJs out there, some high profile DJs who are saying, you know, I never considered using virtual DJ until now. This is interesting. Jay was talking about this the other night.
I watched the DMC championship, the U.S. Battle for Supremacy the other night, and probably the top 5 scratch DJs in the world did an ad for virtual DJ.
It's crazy.
And I was like, wow.
Well, what's an ad for virtual DJ? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, you'll have to have
meaning that they
the
came
show.
in and said, wow, let me check this out. Like, they were at least filmed talking about that they were blown away by what virtual DJ had to offer.
It's kind of like the day my grandfather said, you know, I never really considered a Japanese truck, but I like those new Toyotas. It's like, whoa.
But that's the thing.
Weird.
When you get into a certain level of DJ, they're very conscious of, no, don't film me. Don't put my name on it. Like, even I can't haphazardly mention the names because I don't want it to seem like, hey, that guy with Pioneer said my name in this, you know. But like, if you just go to the Battle for U.S. Supremacy that was Friday and Saturday night, it's on YouTube and it's on the DMC U.S. Champ page. And I was shocked. I mean, I'll drop one name because he's like the coolest guy I've ever met. But Lazy Boy, who I got to see. And if you want to see somebody that can not only scratch, but throw down, he did his Red Bull 3 style. He won the U.S. Championship in 2019. And I was there in San Francisco when he did it. And it was insane how good this guy is. He came real quick. He did the launch of the DDJ 1000 SRT for Serato with me up in San Francisco back in September. And he was like 10 minutes late. And he came in this bright green hoodie. And I'm like, yo, what's up, dog? He's like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I was at the hospital getting this installed. And he lifted up the hoodie and he had a pump, like a food pump attached with literally stuff going into him. And I'm like, he was fighting cancer. He's showing me photos of like the sonogram.
Dedicated guy. Yeah.
Oh, no, he's like battled cancer 2 or 3 times. Like, I'm sorry. I tell everyone, if you can, support Lazy Boy. He is not only an amazing person, amazing DJ, but he's like beaten cancer twice. Like, just super, super cool guy. But I saw him, and he's the most upfront, honest, down-to-earth dude. So if he's in a commercial going, wow, virtual DJ, I'm blown away by this, that's not him blowing smoke. He was serious.
Stuff does pop up like that, though, where
look at DJ.
It's just,
algorithms.
I mean, for me, it was
DJ.
column arrays, like perfected for DJs.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
wow.
Did you think we'd ever see that? Where DJs
like
are like, what do you use? I use an array.
Not easy to use, not easy to set up, and not anything that would produce the bass that we have. And now we have several different options.
And understand, guys, what you see is technology. I mean, when you see something big that's unaffordable, that's, you know, oh, I'm not going to spend $8,000 on this, you know, mixer, controller, whatever. Understand that technology, once it exists, once it's out there in the environment, that means it can trickle down to what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, the comparison I make, of course, I'm going to go to cars. Think about Audi for a minute. Audis are pretty cool cars, and they've got a lot of neat tech in them. The tech you see in Audis 5 years down the road, you also see them in Volkswagen, and at a much lower price point. So that's how it works with all technology. It starts here, but then, you know, can you imagine what a flat screen TV would have cost you 20 years ago? I know how much it would have cost. It would have cost probably about $30,000 for a 32-inch TV. And
you can get one for a couple $100 now.
Yeah. So it just works that way. It's the trickle down effect, like he says.
I think there's also a point where we as DJs need to have our voices heard, and you need to be proactive about, hey, this is what I want, this is what I need, and this is why I need it, and clearly explain that, because believe it or not, oftentimes the people you converse with from different manufacturers aren't DJs.
Yeah.
They aren't DJs. So you're talking to someone who goes, why do you want 2 mics with 3-band EQ? Like if you're not a DJ, you don't get, if you're not, and I've said to people who do like clubs and do stadiums, I mean, you know, I'm talking to guys to get $100,000 a show. And I'm like, blah, 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 yeah, 3-band EQ. Yeah. Like, is that a good thing? And I'm like, well, for me, I do weddings. So if somebody's toasting and they get near a speaker, I can turn the feedback. They have a sound guy. They don't get feedback because they have somebody that does that for them. That's not on their agenda.
Right.
And they look at you like, oh, no way. And they get impressed. You know, I've given Brian credit. There's a great song by Ferry Corsten called Rock Your Body. And Brian turned me on to pitch it down, but don't hit master tempo because it changes the vocal, and the vocal sounds cooler when you pitch it down to like 126, 128.
It changes the key and
there.
everything. Just
Right. But I said that to Ferry Corsten at EDC 2 years ago. And I go, hey, by the way, a good buddy of mine turned me on to a cool trick that I do now. I used to pitch your song down, but keep master tempo on. But now I don't because the vocal changes. And he looked me dead in the eye and he goes, you know what that vocal is? I'm like, no. He goes, it's me. I did the vocal. You did? He goes, yeah, we didn't have anyone else there. And I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if we had this section go like, rock your body, rock. So we put a vocoder on me, and that's my voice doing that. But he was so impressed. Again, I think the high end understands the low end. He's a big famous trance DJ, but when he hears some schmucky wedding DJ from SoCal tell him that he's playing his songs out at gigs, that makes him feel really, really good. We're like that little kid. You remember the Mean Joe Green Coke commercial?
Yeah.
That's who we
gee,
become.
thanks, Mean Joe.
Yeah.
It's a reference that goes way back. It's an old people reference. I'm sorry, kids.
Oh, sorry.
No time.
It's
like
something
7
from
Up,
1970
Dr.
not
Pepper.
relevant anymore.
Tab. I don't know what it was.
Fresca? No, nobody.
So long story
Virginia
short, folks,
Slams? No.
long story short, folks, Namm is starting on the 18th. It runs through the 22nd. It's free. Go to the website, register. They will send you an email where you can then go in and create a profile.
Yes,
and
you need to
participate in the show, no matter where you are in the world. Absolutely free.
see what's new, see what
do
you
it.
can say, make comments, give your 2 cents worth. Say if you like something, make comments to the websites of the manufacturers and say, hey, great job in this, but we'd really like this. Because at some point, everyone has to listen. I mean, not me, but everyone else has to listen.
So
I just hear last call. That's what I'm listening for in the background.
I think that's our show tonight.
Wow. That was a good show.
That's it.
What's it, 10:30? Yeah, it's 10:31.
So I don't know, whatever it is.
Went long.
It worked. So
Yeah,
thanks for
good
coming,
times.
folks. Don't worry about the
appreciate it, Mike.
Australian guy walking around there with a green screen. Don't worry about him.
Hi,
We'll see you
everyone.
next week.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Brian. Hi, Harry.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Alex.
Found this
How
in the
are
trash
you?
today. In the rubbish.
I'm online now doing a house set.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll have some more information for you if we have any insider tips.
We're getting
we'll share
closer to
them with you as
NAMM.
well.
There may be announcements next week.
Never know. We'll let you know what they are. So
Yes,
as we know, as soon as we know, we'll let you know. So
we will.
we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Stay safe.